On location, and we're here at ASN 2011 with Chris Cason. How did you first get into the world of anime voice acting?
Well, I was an actor in Dallas for a long time, and I had a friend of mine who was another actor in Dallas who said, hey, actually what he said specifically was, hey, they're doing cartoons in Fort Worth, do you want to audition? And I said, because he already did, and I said, yeah, sure. And I go into this kind of slightly frightening looking frost bank building into this darkened room and audition for a couple of characters, and I thought, well, this is kind of weird. And I do my best. I go home, have lunch, and I don't think about it. Then I get a call a week later. They said, hey, come in, you got a couple of characters in that, as we said at that time, cartoon. And I said, okay, fine. I come back, and the characters were Tien Shinhan and Mr. Popo. The show was Dragon Ball Z, and the friend was Mike McFarland, who later went on to be Yajirobe and Master Roshi and all kinds of stuff. So it just sort of happened. The short answer might be I was a local actor in Dallas, and Funimation opened in my backyard. So it just worked out.
Awesome. You are a well-known voice actor, but you have also done work as an ADR. Can you share the experience of what that's like compared to acting? How has it influenced your acting?
Well, I think it's improved it, and I've talked to other ADR directors, and when you are sitting there and you have countless actors coming in all day, and you have to deal with them and work with them in different ways to get the best performance out of each one, I think you kind of learn it from both sides, and therefore when you go back into the booth to act, I think your acting is better, and I think it improves it quite a bit, and I think one informs the other. I think acting makes you a better voice actor. Acting makes you a better director, and vice versa. So,
as a voice actor, you have had many challenging roles over the years. One of them, and arguably your most famous, is Gluttony from Fullmetal Alchemist. How do you prepare yourself for a role like that?
Pizza. I like to eat. I mean, as you can see, I'm a bit of a health nut, but on occasion, or maybe not see. Preparing for a role like that is almost impossible because it's such a strange character, particularly in Brotherhood, where he does even weirder stuff, like the whole jaw thing in the eye and all that. Yeah. I think I kind of approached Fullmetal Alchemist where I came in and wanted to approach it as Gluttony would, because he's so childlike that I kind of wanted to experience it as he would, which is fresh. So I didn't do a lot of research on the character, particularly in the old days. In the first one, where just doing research was so much more difficult. It's easier to do research now, but I tried to keep it spontaneous and fresh.
In a Q&A from Colossal last year, you talked about doing voices, how much of a strain it is on the voice. How do you keep your voice healthy?
Well, you often go on a thing called vocal rest, where if you have a day of screaming, then you are off for a few days and you don't talk, you drink hot tea and maybe some cough syrup to numb and lubricate the voice, and you just take it easy. You don't talk to people, and hopefully they don't call you back in for at least a week, and then you just sort of start over again. But there is all the acting training in the world, at the end of the day you are yelling, and so no matter where you place it in the voice, you just have to take it easy and pace yourself. I know when we recorded certain properties where the character would be yelling for some lines or fighting or whatever, and then other lines not yelling, we would very often record the non-yelling parts first and then come back and do all the yelling stuff, because if we did the yelling stuff at the beginning, of course your voice is ruined for the rest of the session. Although sometimes that also didn't work when you have characters like Kanai in School Rumble who yells every line, but I call it DBZ boot camp, so I just tried my best.
All right. But yeah, speaking of DBC, you've had the privilege to work on DBZ Kai. How is working on that compared to working on the first DBZ, the first iteration of DBZ?
Well, I'm not doing Tien in Kai, and I'm doing Popo again in Kai. I would say in general, and I almost feel confident I could speak for the other actors too, everybody's better. I mean, long story short, when you have 6 years or more in between, because you do something every day, you simply get better at it by doing. And I feel like in Kai, I think that whether it's the direction, the writing, the acting, I think all of it's better. And I think we're all just better performers now. So it was great to come back and revisit that character, very much like Fullmetal Alchemist versus Brotherhood. It's a very unique experience, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
You've covered a large amount of material over the years and many different styles of acting. Which style of acting has been your favorite to do?
Style of acting? Do you mean voice acting versus stage, or?
Voice acting versus stage, or the type of characters that you portray. You know, like a character that is a very, like angry, furious character versus a very morose character versus.
Oh, sure. Well.
That kind of.
Well, in anime, I still really do enjoy. I mean, I play a lot of creatures and talking animals. Creatures I call it the white fuzzy Triforce, which is Whitey from Shin-Chan, Camo from Negima, and Babbitt from Kodocha. Thanks, guys. They love those too, apparently. But yeah, I love playing creatures and animals and things like that, just because it's so far removed from anything you would do in real life. Even on stage, I couldn't really sell that I'm a 30-foot dragon, but I could with a lot of yelling and a pitch shifter. So I still like doing that quite a bit, because it's very different than real life, and you can really let your imagination go when it's not even a human character. Having said that, I just recently played a human villain character that I can't talk about now, but had a great time. So if it has to be, I mean, I enjoy playing all of them for different reasons, but as human characters, I prefer villains because they always have the best lines.
One more thing to note is that you've also been a writer on many of these shows. How has it been? Have there been any challenges in making sure the lines work and making sure they match up to what the dialogue is supposed to be, things like that?
Well, it's a huge challenge to stay true to the original intent and make it flaptastic, as we say, make the flaps make sense. Because what you don't want, obviously, is the flaps to be going, and then it's, the line is, "I love you, Mom," and it's, "I love you, Mom," flap, 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 flap. And you don't want to do the cliche of, "I really, really, really enjoy your company, Mother, very much, thank you." I mean, you don't want to do filler. Yeah, and then that one last awful flap that means nothing. So it's a constant battle, and writing is so solitary. You're sitting, ostensibly in your bathrobe with a cup of coffee and shaking as you're chained to writing this thing, and you're hoping you get inspired and it makes sense. But I think even voice acting or directing, at the end of the day, you are sort of, you're in a way imprisoned by the flaps. You can only do so much because the flaps dictate everything. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
Is there any way fans can follow you online, Facebook, any networks like that?
Actually, yeah, I wish I forgot to bring that up a lot in a lot of the panels I've done this weekend. But there is a fan page that was made for me by a girl that I've still not met. But hi you. It is Chris Cason's Anime Chuckle Hut, which is a fan page on Facebook, and you can go there, and I'm on that quite a bit. And yeah, it's fun. I like interacting with the fans, and that's why I like going to cons.
Yeah. All right. Finally, any final words, any messages you'd like to get out to the fans?
Two messages. One, thanks for watching, because if you guys didn't watch, I couldn't do what I do, and I enjoy so much, and hopefully you are able to enjoy the stuff that I do, so it's kind of reciprocal back and forth. I mean, that's why we do it, is for other people to forget their problems, even for a short time, and have a good time. So I would say thanks a lot, and I would also say, to that end, thank you for watching, and thank you for watching purchased thank you for watching, and thank you for watching purchased entertainment versus the illegal kind, which unlike maybe in the illegal downloads in terms of music is one thing, because a band, if you illegally download a song, a band can still tour.
They make most of their money
off of touring. But in the case of anime, I mean, that's pretty much it. So, it really is slowing down. Unfortunately, this is a time when there's many more cons than there are actual animated properties coming out of Japan. And, I think some of that's due to the economy. I think some of it's due to illegal downloads. But I would say, yeah, keep it legal, and thanks for watching.
All right. Chris Cason, everyone. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.